Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Can I get an F-A-F-O, any F around and find out enjoyers? I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I'm a huge fafo enjoyer. Well, today it seems as though these young communist revolutionary leftoids that have been causing havoc across the Western world, it seems as though they're finally being held accountable for their actions. We're talking about those Just Stop Oil protesters who've garnered quite the reputation over the last couple of years. You know, those clowns who vandalized precious pieces of art, shut down highways, and even recently, as we covered, took it upon themselves to vandalize Stonehenge of all places. I'm sure you guys remember that clip. Yep, those people, the Just Stop Oil folks, are finally paying their dues, which some people aren't exactly thrilled about. There's a video currently going viral that I gotta show you guys, and of course we gotta have a conversation about it all. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here's the headline. Cambridge student jailed for planned M25 disruption. Cressida Gethin was convicted of conspiring to deliberately cause a public nuisance along with 4 other Just Stop Oil activists. The 5 activists conspired to disrupt traffic by having protesters climb onto gantries over the motorway for 4 consecutive days in November of 2022. The group, dubbed the Whole Truth 5 by JSO, comprises of Cressida Gethin, a music student at Cambridge, Roger Hellam, co-founder of JSO and Extinction Rebellion, Daniel Shaw, Louise Lancaster, and Lucia Whitaker de Abreu. Might have butchered that last name, but anyways, doesn't really matter. Point is, these people well, they're finally getting what they deserve. Jail time. And apparently, that's a big problem. According to one of the mothers of these criminal activists, apparently, we're supposed to feel bad for these rich, spoiled, entitled, unhinged leftoids.
Hello, everybody. My daughter is Cressida Gethin. At the age of 22, she was the youngest defendant, and she has just been sentenced today to 4 years in prison. This means she will not be present at her brother's wedding next summer. She had just finished her first year at university. Cressida also grew up completely understanding right and wrong. She has always been unable to stand by when she sees injustice. She has the courage of a lion and a moral compass that compels her to step forward when she sees wrong. And what she has seen, what so many people will not face, is that our leaders are sleepwalking us to a climate apocalypse by their failure to prioritize decarbonisation, and that with this will come enormous suffering. Like many of the defendants, Cressida tried polite routes to protest and to persuade, to effect change. But when she heard the science and saw that no one was paying attention, she felt she had no option. She often mentioned this statement to me from a renowned climate scientist. The world's response to date is reprehensible. What do we have to do to get through to people how bad this really is? In 2022, when she was 20 years old, she took direct action and engaged in civil resistance, a strategy with proven results, albeit with risks for those who step up. She took action just after the laws on protest were heavily tightened, with the implications for protesters untested. From the expectation of action resulting in a fine, a tag, or a short period of detention, she now faces this, a multi-year sentence in prison. Nick and I are proud of what Cressida stands for, and that she has stood up to call out the misery that lack of action is going to bring. But I also grieve for Cressida. We are told that justice has been done today, but it doesn't look like that to us. Our politicians, our media, our judiciary, and yes, our energy companies should be shocked and deeply embarrassed how the court has dispensed its version of justice today.
Yeah, well, you heard that right. Apparently, we're supposed to feel bad for the Just Stop Oil activist facing the consequences of her actions. What an absolute farce, but really, I think it's a microcosm of left-wing thinking as a whole. Inherently selfish nonsense. Me, and screw everybody else. The world revolves around me and the world must stop so I can throw my little tantrum. Unfreaking believable. Now, finally, these activists are being held accountable for their actions, and we're hearing a sob story. Oh, my poor daughter, she's gonna miss her brother's wedding. Is that really the argument? Let's take a look at the facts of the case, shall we? Prosecutors claim that the M25 protests, which resulted from a Zoom call involving 45 individuals climbing gantries, caused an economic impact of at least £765,000, with the Metropolitan Police incurring costs exceeding £1.1 million. The protesters reportedly caused over 50,000 hours of vehicle delay, impacted more than 700,000 vehicles, and rendered sections of the M25 motorway compromised for over 120 hours. The demonstrations resulted in closures across Kent, Surrey, Essex, and Hertfordshire. That's a hard one to pronounce. And so again, focusing on proper context here, more than 700,000 vehicles were impacted. You know what's probably likely? There was somebody sick, somebody with an emergency, probably a pregnant woman caught in the fray. You know, there's probably somebody who missed a flight or missed a train or didn't make it on time and ended up missing their brother or sister's wedding. Huge delays, economic damage, and even personal damage. But we're supposed to feel bad for the activist because they hug trees and can play piano or something. Don't care, not sympathetic at all. It's time for this nonsense to stop. Oh, and actually here's something that just popped up, which I found. Mostly I was just assuming that a lot of people were negatively impacted, but apparently they have a list of people that were negatively impacted. The jury heard evidence of the impact of the protests on ordinary members of the public who were traveling on the M25 on the days in question and became caught up in the disruption. That included evidence about people who missed their flights, people who missed funerals, school students delayed for their mock exams, a child with special needs on his way to school who missed a part of the school day in his medication, which placed the taxi driver driving him there at risk, as the child can become volatile without his medication, other school students with special education needs being delayed on their way to school, somebody suffering from an aggressive form of cancer who missed an appointment at a cancer clinic and had to wait 2 months for a further appointment, people who were late to work and had to work extra hours without pay to make up the time, an HGV driver unable to deliver £5,000 worth of food to a hospital. In other words, pretty significant damages. But we're supposed to feel bad for the privileged Ivy League student activist. Give me a frickin' break. You want to have a conversation about a topic? Sure. You want to protest? Sure. Get off the damn road, get off the highways. Pretty much anything but engaging in criminal behavior that has clear damaging impacts on thousands of your fellow citizens. I don't know, just a thought. The idea that we should feel bad for these people, or that they should simply just be allowed to get away with these shenanigans, yeah, no thanks. It's simply destructive leftists being destructive leftists. You'll find no sympathy from me. Anyways, just an interesting clip that I thought I'd show you guys. The typical overly privileged, short-sighted leftist approach. These people just want an adrenaline rush, that's it. You got your little 15 minutes of fame, everybody saw your face. Absolutely nothing changed, and now it's time to pay your dues back to civilized society. Apparently this one activist is facing 4 years in prison. Seems appropriate, but I think what I'd suggest is 2 years working in the oil fields. Send them out there to be actual productive members of society for once. Enough is enough, the message has been sent. Now hopefully these leftoids got the memo. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.